Just said a second. Right, that's the same thing. 3 good seconds. Front. It's going to be stuff by you. What about these moving down the road? You'll be right there.
Yeah, I was like, alright, that's all.
Moving down one road.
Okay, and I was like, slightly slow, and I was like, yeah, I did that.
Thank you, guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, I was one of my friends, like, torn out. But it was good. It was like, put it into a computer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I almost saw that on the road.
for 2018. Joining me in commentary once again today from Royals is Luke Fisher, and we'll come to Luke in a moment. Our referee is James Morris, and straight away, that's not the start, Luke, that Queanbeyan would have wanted the kick-off going straight over the sidelines here on the grandstand side at Phillip Oval.
Yeah, unlike Pedro there to make a mistake off the kick-off, his kick-off is really one of the key assets on Royals getting back, responding with a contestable kick. But yeah, Queanbeyan will look to get a good field position from straight away. Big test of both scrums up front, and there's been a few changes there from those sides that were named earlier in the week too. Up front for Royals, Joel Penders switches back to loose head after being named tight head originally. Sione Lolahea back at hooker as well, and Sione Mao into tight head. Mike Whakavar, Nathan Selwood the locks, Will Morrison and Luke Kimber on the flanks, and Richie Mariota number 8. Down in the backs, Pedro Orlando, Jamie Bodman comes in for Craig McMahon at 10. Ben Johnson, Seth Going on the wings, Matt Cole and Lincoln Smith. And it's a return from Brumby's fullback Andy Muirhead in the number 15 jersey for the Royals. A welcome addition, no doubt. It's a big Royal scrum to start away straight away. Josh White for Queanbeyan has to do well to get that ball out. Jamie Marmot brings it to ground in the end. Josh White had a huge influence on Queanbeyan's come from behind win last weekend over East out at Campese, and they win the early penalty here for the Whites. That'll be an easy exit, Luke, out of their territory. Yeah, just a bit of ill discipline there from Royals, just kicking the ball in the ruck. Not allowed to do that anymore. It's a new rule. I haven't seen it enforced too much, but it's just one that Royals have to be better at. And Zach Tarrant with a big kick downfield finds touch on the Royals 22, just inside the Royals 22 in fact. The Whites side very quickly. Neardu Nadruku and Ben Gordon up front with Carl Elliott the hooker, OJ Noah, Toby Wilson the locks, Ryan Jones, Dan Pencer, Cameron Stanley the back row. Taken well there at the top by Toby Wilson. We come wide here through Zach Tarrant before offloading there to Keith Morgan in midfield. Looking to build their phases here, the Whites, and they've got another penalty. Royals just caught offside there at the ruck. They're stringing the penalties together, Luke, already. Yeah, it's a couple of early penalties away. It's not less than ideal start as you put it off the kickoff. Just compounding the pressures here. Queanbeyan right on attack early. Zach Tarrant elects for the sideline for going the three-point option early in this match. Points are going to be crucial in this game. The table, the way it sits at the moment, Queanbeyan sit on 42 in 4th spot and have a bye next weekend, so they're gunning for a win today particularly. And we'll try and keep you up to date with some results for some other games as this rolling more from the Whites is there. Is it already? Just been held up from James Morris is the call. Beautiful work there by Queanbeyan off the line out. The way they shifted that ball and set up that maul to go forward caught Royals napping. They're going to have to be switched on to that. It's a good trick to pull early. Transition was really quick, wasn't it? Certainly got them forward at a rate of knots. The Royals pack, I think we can safely say, is on notice now. Yeah, it's just one of those things that Royals probably expecting just a standard drive coming through, but with the shift, Queanbeyan caught us snapping. The rest of that Queanbeyan White side, Josh White comes into scrum half. Zach Tarrant at 10, as I've called. Mitch Douch on the left wing after playing scrum half last week. Jamie Marmot on the other wing. Keith Morgan and Isaiah Latu in the centres, and Tom Rudiger is the fullback for Queanbeyan today. It's a good scrum, holding steady here for the Whites. Josh White pulls it out. Tarrant goes wide to Keith Morgan, who gets a pass well out wide there. On the other side, that is Mitch Douch there on the left wing. Josh White has this ball at the back here, finds Morgan again. He beat the first tackler this time, Keith Morgan, brought to ground about 8 metres out. A little snipe there from Josh White, but balls come free. In the end, Jamie Bodman's pretty happy to see that ball go dead. We're going to come out for a 5 metre scrum. Yeah, some reasonable defence there from Royals, attacking an upright ball carrier. And I think forced that ball free, so I think James has called knock on off East into Queanbeyan in goal. Yeah, 5 metre scrum here for Royals. I mentioned the table, Luke, as I say. Royals second on 51 points. They're ahead of Uni North on 45 and Queanbeyan on 42, as I mentioned. Uni North are playing Jamison. It's playing West today at Jamison. East playing Gungahlin at Griffith. And as I mentioned, we'll try and get you some scores for those two games during the week. Tuggeranong sit clear in first spot on 58 points, and they have the bye this weekend, so they'll be sitting back hoping everyone
well, belts each other this weekend, 2 weeks out from the finals.
Yeah, it's been the most even John Dent Cup in recent memory.
Yeah.
I can't remember a year where we have 6 teams vying for final spots 2 weeks out from the competition.
Yeah.
It's been a great year.
It's been a really healthy year for the competition, and certainly the way Uni North have really gone to roll in these last 6 weeks. It's really had some excitement levels to it. The Whites throw in just outside the 22. It is. Here's Dan Pencer with a customary carry up through the middle. Josh White has it available this time. Finds Zach Tarrant, who does get an offload away there in the end. Heavy traffic here. Ben Johnson has an air swing for Royals, and in the end, Muirhead, he brings Rudiger down into ground. There's a quick line-out throw here from Matt Cole. Pedro Rolando decides not to run and gets a kick downfield. Tarrant has 2 goes at it, but he claims it well, and he gets a nice raking drop punt kick. It's going to find touch inside the Royals 22. That's a really good kick.
Yeah,
from
great
Zach
kick
Tarrant
there from Zach Tarrant, winning the kicking duel there. It puts their Royals right under pressure here. Pressure on Sony Lola here to nail this throw.
Absolutely. He's a late inclusion. Sione Lolohea was originally thought he might not be back this week. He's had a bit of a knee injury, I believe.
Yeah, in a tough encounter against Uni last week, picked up a bit of a knee complaint, but got through the week, got his rehab done, and it's good to have him out there.
Rolando's pass is under plenty of pressure there, and that's Richie Mariota, I think, is brought to ground about 10 out in the end. Had to clean up some loose ball. Plenty of pressure here on Royals. Get this clear and kick away. Ben Johnson's at the back, but Rolando has with a box kick from the back, and he finds touch about 35 out, about 30 metres out from his own line in the end on that eastern side of Phillip Oval.
Yeah, great kick there from Pedro. Again, just showing the class of the player.
Quick line out throw for the Whites, but they've lost it, spilled it on their side. This is Joel Penders getting an offload there to Richie Mariota in the numberless jersey there in centre field. Queanbeyan trying to get this ball out, and they've got it. We've got penalty advantage here to the Whites. James Morris' arm is out.
Yeah, some old-fashioned rucking there.
Old-fashioned rucking at the side.
Panther.
Yeah, good to see. This is Neri Nedruku. The good carry there on the far side. Zach Tarrant with a pass. It just can't be collected there from Seth Going, and that might have been shut the gate if Seth Going regathered that with no one in front of him.
Yeah, it would have been a good foot race there between Seth and Douchy. They're both pretty fleet-footed.
Certainly would have been. It would have been a hell of a start for Royals. They've been under plenty of pressure so far in these opening minutes.
Yeah, defensive line has held up really soundly so far from Royals. So it's been pretty even start.
Certainly has. So we'll have another Whites scrum just short of the Royals 10 metre line there on the far side. As I mentioned, Josh White had a huge impact for Queanbeyan last week, coming off the bench in their 46-all draw with East over Campese. It must have been an incredibly entertaining game.
Yeah, I've seen a score update during the day when they were down, I believe, 43-17. So it must be a massive comeback.
Of all the weeks I picked to have a game off. So the Whites working away again. They've won another penalty. Hands in the ruck is the call there, and it looks like it's going to be against
Matt Cole.
Yeah, Matt Cole. I was going to lay the assumption and ping Luke Kimber being the open sider last man up. It's generally them, but I think you're right. I think it was Matt Cole in the end.
Matt Cole, he sort of went in there, had a first crack at it and didn't come up clean, and then when he went back for that second guy, Ruckert formed and just...
Additionally, midfielders generally aren't quite as subtle at these sorts of things as flankers are. Thrown in there by Carl Elliott, and again the Whites go straight down into this line-out drive. It's going sideways, but they're moving forward here. It's gone to ground. Seems to be legal so far. Peeled off the back there by Carl Elliott, and he's brought down a few metres short. They're piling in around him here, the Whites. Can they get this first try of the game? White finds Tarrant. He goes wide through Morgan. An inside ball there to Isaiah Latu, and he's brought down short. The Whites, they're only not even a metre or two out. Josh White goes wide through Rudiger, and this ball's gone into touch. Promising build-up from the Whites.
It certainly was. They're stringing the phases together really well there. Just some pretty good pressure on the line defence there from Royals, getting up, cutting off that time for Queanbeyan to organise something in attack.
I think what is clear today is that the Whites are absolutely going to throw this ball around. They're going sideline to sideline. They've got nothing to lose, I suppose, on that front, Luke. As I say, they absolutely need to win today to make sure they're not overtaken and to make sure to give them a chance of remaining in the hunt next week with that bye. It'd be a hell of a way to find out your likely finals participation, wouldn't it? To be sitting back and not being able to do anything about it next week.
Yeah, no, I think it's all in line. Queanbeyan know that their season, pretty much to be in the best chance that they have of making finals, need to win today. Otherwise, there is a lot of pressure, for them to remain in the finals, and I'm sure they'll be out watching that game next week against, I believe, Uni North and Gungahlin.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. East and Gungahlin next. I beg your pardon. Yeah, Uni North and Gungahlin. You're right. That's where we'll be next week. East on 40 points and Gungahlin on 38 in 5th and 6th currently. So that's the pressure on the Whites currently, and there's plenty of pressure on Ben Johnson here. The Royals winger stuck on his own try line, couldn't get his clear and kick away. Royals, they're going to have to pick and drive out of this, just give themselves a little bit extra space. They might have some numbers here to their left, the Royals, if they can get it out there. Johnson set at the back, but Rolando again goes for that box kick option. Mitch Douch, in the end, he's got a touch on that. It's gone into touch.
Yeah,
off the Whites winger.
We might not. It doesn't look like there's much wind out there, but it just seemed to hold up
quite
well.
It did. You're right.
Faded on him at the last spin of their Douch. It was a hard take.
We can see those trees over there on the hospital side of Phillip Oval, and there is a little bit of wind blowing in from the northeastern corner of Phillip here. I suggest that one, just as you say, Luke, just held up a little bit in the wind.
Last scrum, Queanbeyan put a lot of pressure through the tight head side. I'll be interested to see if they look to attack this scrum again.
Yeah, we will watch on with interest. As we mentioned, Joel Penders was named Team of the Week last week. His second time for the year at tight head, but has switched to loose head this week with Fa'alala Sione's withdrawal. And Sione Mao coming in to tight head. Royals have this scrum going forward well at the moment, trying to control at the back. I think they might have just lost a bit of control of that. They decide to take it out to the backs in the end through Lincoln Smith, who's had a really good year, the young centre. This is Luke Kimber, and he's dropped that ball. It's not one of his best moments of the year, I'd suggest. No,
a bit of confusion there amongst the Royals pack there, just about who was actually receiving that ball. I think they got in each other's way.
There's a bit of yaws about that one, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think Kimber ran the line, and I just don't know if Pedro knew exactly who he was meant to be hitting there. So, ball was that bit behind and spilt.
Had a quick chat with Royals coach Wayne Southwell just before the game, and I said better to get last week's loss out of the way, a couple of weeks out from the finals rather than when it really counts. And he said it was just one of those funny sorts of games where they had every chance to win it, and then Uni North, as I say, they've been having a really, really good season.
Yeah.
Beat them on the outside a couple of times late in the game.
Yeah, you'd much rather lose last week than in a couple of weeks' time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, they say sometimes you've got to lose one like that before the end of the season. So,
another big scrum from Royals. The Whites forced to pick up, and they do that in the end to hold on to possession here. White gets a pass out the back there to Keith Morgan, who's been industrious already. He's beaten 2 tacklers there in that run, brought down in the end about 18 and 19 out from the Royals line. This is Dan Pencer just centering things up in the midfield. Still about 20 out. Tarrant gets a little short ball back on the inside there to Tom Rudiger. This is Toby Wilson, the lock, with a good carry. Tarrant goes wide there. That pass is on the bounce in the end to Isaiah Latu.
Strong contact from Mike Facava over the top.
Yeah, it certainly was. Good carry there from Toby Wilson. This defence from Royals, it might have even forced a turnover here. It has. Joel Penders has picked that one up out at the back. This defensive pressure from Royals has been impressive in these first 10 minutes of play here at Phillip Oval. Still 0-0 in the Hahn Superdry match of the round. As Royals worked away off their own line. Ben Johnson with an inside ball there from Matt Cole. Good to see Andy Muirhead plenty and heavily involved already. Rolando does well to pull this ball out. Sione Mao with a strong carry, and he's still going, the big fella. Plenty of pressure on him. Plenty of defenders wanting to have a go at him. Here's Andy Muirhead, pulled on an inside ball there from Rolando. Does get a ball off the ground to Mariota. This is Jamie Bodman, who gets another little nice offload to Mike Fakavar in midfield. Making ground here, Royals. This is good. Joel Penders, and that ball looked forward. He stopped Joel Penders, and in the end, Sione Lolohea is going to score a try next to the post that Royals most definitely didn't think would be allowed to play on, Luke Fisher.
Look, I think I was called last week when we last called with you, Brett, about some forward passes in the East last try. I think Pedro's one was definitely forward there, but I think even Joel thought it was forward.
Well, there is no doubt Joel Penders pulled up in his run. He thought for sure that was going to be pulled up. But you've got to play to the whistle, as we've always been taught. And so in the end, it's a try to Sione Lolohea.
Yeah, I think that's the first time Royals have had the ball, and they looked actually quite good coming upfield, making yards.
Made some good ground, didn't they?
Yeah, some strong ball carrying. You know, Mike Fakava there, Sione Mao just got Queanbeyan on the back foot in defence, and Royals just capitalised.
Pedro Orlando adds the extras, and so 7 points to 0. Royals leading Queanbeyan in the Hearn Super Dry match of the round. It's been one. Well, it's certainly been one-sided in terms of the territory game in these opening stages, and that's really come against the run of play, that one. So pressure now on the Whites to see how they respond to that. It's Mike Fakava over on the far side from the restart. Got a little offload away, and that ball's crept into touch there. Seth Going did his best, but flag is up on the far side. Well, I still can't get over that pass, I've got to say, Luke.
Yeah, look.
I don't think I've seen so many players quite obviously pull up in their run waiting for the whistle. In the end, it's play on. The Whites are playing on here through Dent. Pencer up the middle off this line out win. Another good run from the Whites flanker. Josh White with a little snipe there, trying to catch a few bodies offside there next to the ruck. More metres up through the middle here for the Whites. They're just short of the Royals 22. Carl Elliott bumping off defenders there in traffic. Richie Mariotta, he's bumped off there as well. Carl Elliott, he made 4 metres. I think the last one was definitely on the ground. Rudiger, there's Keith Morgan. And a pass at the back of Isaiah Latu. But Rudiger, he's still alive for the offload. They're inside the 22 here now, the Whites, and they've got there pretty quickly. Toby Wilson brought to ground about 20 out now. Josh White comes wide to Tarrant, and he spots a little bit of space here. Zach Tarrant, he's brought down about 12 short. In the end, the Queanbeyan fly half. White goes open side, finds Rudiger at the back. He's got Morgan on his inside, gets a little grubber kick through. Who is going to win the race there? In the end, I think ball's gone into touch.
Some industrious play there from Queanbeyan. I'm not sure if kick was quite the right option.
No, I think it's fair to say that that Mitch Douch on the far side didn't know too much about it. As Pedro Orlando gets us underway again quickly. That ball is definitely holding up there in the wind. Jamie Marmont has this. Comes to Matt Cole and gets away from him reasonably easily. Cole ends up bringing him down. Second man effort. They come short side here through Tarrant, the Whites, and he gets away from Lincoln Smith, but he's lost the ball in contact. In the end, well, it was nearly too easy for Zach Tarrant there. He sort of managed to turn Lincoln Smith around and then lost the ball in really not too much contact at all.
Yeah, his last couple of runs, he's snuck his nose through the defensive line. He's looked very dangerous. Unfortunately, control going to ground has just bobbled free.
Yeah, good start to the game from the Queanbeyan fly half. So it'll be a Royal scrum about 7 in from touch in the shadows here of the grandstand at Phillip Oval. James Morris, our referee today in this round 16 game. Season, Luke, has gone really, really quickly. I can't believe we're up to round 16 already, and then think about it, we've only got a couple of weeks and some finals left, and we're all over as Mariotta pulls this one at the back. He finds Jamie Bodman, who gets a long pass out there to Seth Going, who finds some space, gets a kick ahead to Andy Muirhead. Is he going to win the race? Andy Muirhead, he's got over the line here. It's a try.
Great
kick, Chase.
Yeah, great try from Royals. I'd just like to say the lead-up work from James Bodman to identify the space out wide and to deliver an absolutely stunning pass to Seth.
Seth going. Found himself in a little bit of space out there on that wing, but you're right, that pass of Jamie Bodman's to find Seth going out there on the far side was really, really impressive. And Seth going, well, he knew he only had to get the ball in front of Andy Muirhead for the Brumbies winger and fullback to finish the job.
Yeah, Andy showed his electricity out there.
Absolutely. So Pedro Rolando adds the extras for a second time. And we've had another try, Luke, which I think you've got to say is also gone against the run of play a little bit.
It's been a little bit of Royals' game across the years that, we've seemed to have scored a few tries against the run of play, and that's got our noses out in front, and then we just build pressure from there.
And you've got a feel for the Whites because they've played all the rugby so far in this opening stage and played and looked pretty good when doing it, and suddenly they find themselves down 2 converted tries and can't really work out what's gone wrong for them, unfortunately, at this stage. But Royals, they don't really mind at this point. They're just happy to get the work done, and Mariota is getting that work done in midfield. There's that man, Andy Muirhead, once again in space, tried to get an offload away. Jamie Marmont got a touch on it. Which way has it gone? Sarah Corrigan is our assistant referee here on the near side. It has, in the end, gone off the Whites. I actually thought Sione Mao might have got a touch on that.
Whether he was
with Jamie Marmont,
whether he was already in touch when he went out, must be. Yeah.
And we'll concede that Sarah's got a better view of that than we have here. Well won here by Royals, but
ball, wasn't quite straight. I think Nathan Selwood was catching that ball over his head.
It was definitely on the outside line as the guide these days. So the Whites with a scrum feed just inside Royals half. Has been a really entertaining opener to our Hahn Super Dry match of the round. We, of course, think our competition partners, Griffin Legal, the John Dent Cup naming rights sponsor for 2018, who have been wonderful supporters. Hahn Super Dry obviously have brought you the match of the round every week. And Vodafone bring us the man of the match again later in the game. We'll have to give that some serious thought as the game goes on, Luke. We thank McDonald's ACT, Heart Sport and O'Neill's. You are watching the Hahn Super Dry Griffin Legal John Dent Cup match of the round on Brumbies Rugby's live streaming partner, Bar TV Sports. It's a scrum penalty in the end for the Whites, and this gives Zach Tarrant an opportunity to really peel off some metres here in the Royals half. And it's not a bad kick. He'll find touch just short of the 22. I reckon he'd liked a little bit more of that. He's certainly got plenty of distance on his kick.
Yeah,
he didn't quite get his
angles probably was slightly off there, but did the important thing and found touch.
Certainly did. Carl Elliott will throw in here to a full 7-man line out. Taken well there at the front. They've got the ball back in the end. It was ugly but effective, I suppose. Keith Morgan's done well to hold on to that in midfield under plenty of pressure. In the end, Mike Farquhar brings him to ground. Josh White has this. It's a little flick pass inside to Cameron Stanley, who's set upon by 3 Royals defenders in the end. This is Ryan Jones, who was an absolute star back in round 3 or 4, which was the last time I've seen Queanbeyan this year. Pencer again, he's lost the ball sideways. Jamie Bodman's got a kick on it. The Whites have got it back. In the end, we get a kick downfield there, and this is going to go dead, I reckon, Luke.
It certainly has.
It is, yeah. Right idea there from...
I think it was Mitch Douch.
Might have been too.
Yeah, right idea. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much on the kick. There was certainly a lot of space there in the backfield from Royals. But, Royals starting to get some more field position here.
You're right, that was Mitch Douch kicking that. So Douch is actually at fullback, not in the far wing as we initially thought. Douch has played plenty of fullback, though. He was at fullback in the earlier part of this year, certainly for the first month or so.
Yeah, he's just an all-round talented footballer.
Yeah, very much
so. You know, as equally adept a fullback as he is at 9, and has been on the 7th circuit for the ACT as well. He's just an all-round footballer.
Orlando with the scrum feed. Royals have this one going forward on halfway. Mariota controlling it at the back. It's just spilled out between his heels there. Forces Orlando to pick it up. Gets a nice little pass away to Jamie Bodman, who's brought to ground just short of the Whites 22. Mariota gets a little pass there to Rolando, who gets a pass infield to Mike Farquhar, but his offload to Richie Mariota has just been ruled forward by James Morris.
Yeah, just a little bobble there on the offload from Mariota. Royals again looking really enterprising when they've had the ball.
As soon as they're getting into the Whites half, you can see the acceleration and attack, can't you? It's like righto, we're here, up a gear and off we go.
Yeah, they're catching Queanbeyan just in the poor transition from when they're having the ball to the turnover, and they're not responding very well to when Royals make a break.
Certainly with some work to do in defence in their own half, the Whites. Of course, the counter to that is just to keep playing down Royals into the field, which they're actually making a pretty good fist of so far in the game, in fairness.
Yeah, again, they've looked very, very good with the ball.
They really have.
The ball. Just, again, some great Royals line defences stop them from going over. So,
we're about 15 minutes in, and this, I think, is the first time Queanbeyan have actually had defensive ball in their own 22. In the end, Cameron Stanley picks it up from the back, brought to ground. Zach Tarrant finds Jamie Marmont out the back, and he gets this kick away. It sort of hasn't really found any distance. In fact, it hasn't even found touch outside the 22.
It was an awkward looking kick.
It was an awkward looking kick, yeah. Look, he actually looked a little bit rushed then, Jamie, didn't he? Just sort of got a kick away for the...
Yeah, his front line had sort of certainly held up the Royals chasers, but I think he caught himself thinking kick when he was halfway through stride and just thrown it onto the boot.
Right. I think you're right. And so Sione Lolohea with a line-out throw on the 22 there. We've got a big, deep backline set here. It's well taken at the top by Nathan Selwood. Bodman with an inside ball there that's gone to ground. Seth Going has to clean up. He's brought down in midfield, about 32 metres out in the end. Rolando finds Mike Farquhar, and I'm absolutely sure Carl Elliott was hiding offside behind James Morris there, but whatever you can get away with.
When the referee's got his back turned, take every advantage you can get.
Absolutely. Jamie Bodman brought to ground this time. Still managing to find a metre for 2 forward. No, we have got a turnover, and we've got a penalty, in fact, to the Whites. Not releasing, I think, is the call there in the end. Here's Ryan Jones with another good 10-metre carry straight away. Luke Kimber wondering if he can have a go at that. Richie Mariotta's very nearly picked that ball up from the pass. Just lost it in contact. The defensive pressure from Royals is very evident. Luke, it looks different in the Whites' half than it did in their own half. They're looking to get up quickly, and that's definitely putting the Whites under pressure.
Yeah, I think most teams sort of aspire to have that line speed pressure. Just putting those ball carriers under pressure to cut down their thinking time just usually results in you getting more of an advantage out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just looking in the background here. There's a Whites player down the far side, but I'm actually keeping an eye on Zach Tarrant and Jamie Marmont just having a bit of a discussion to a trainer in midfield. And Zach Tarrant was actually looking like he was a little bit ginger there before. He's not looking too bad now.
There's a lot of finger pointing from the trainer.
Yeah, there is. I wonder if there's a concern there. The indication seems to be, I'll see how I go. So he's been good for them so far. So far, they're Zach Tarrant for the Whites, so they wouldn't want to lose him already.
Yeah, he's been the pick of the Whites players so far.
Yeah, you're right. I'm impressed with his kick. He's got a very much an Australian rules drop punt about him, which is not uncommon in rugby these days. But it's really it's well balanced. He's got plenty of distance to his game, so they certainly wouldn't want to lose that.
Royals are standing very deep from this defensive scrum.
They are, aren't they? Yeah, Bodman and Cole and Lincoln Smith are back on halfway, a good 10 metres back from this scrum. It's a big Royals push too. Josh White, he's done well to get this ball out. Tarrant looks to be moving pretty free there. He does find Mitch Douch, who makes a break there on the far side. He can't find his support player. Brought to ground about 35 out now. Whites have this again through Cameron Stanley, who's met heavily there by Luke Kimber and Jamie Bodman, I think it was. Josh White goes short side, and Mitch Douch has dropped that one. We're going back to another ruck penalty. Royals offside once again.
When you're eager to get off that line in defence, you can sometimes find yourself guilty of just not quite catching that last feet.
Yeah, no, we're just caught there. Good quick ball on that second phase for the Whites, I think, has done the job. Now, they're down 14-0, of course, so they shunned a 3-point option there earlier, and I suppose there's no real point in kicking penalty goals when the gap's already blown out like it has. So Zach Tarrant has put this kick.
At 14-0 down, and you sort of feel you're in a must-win game, it's just, that 14 points seems quite large. So it's the best way to get to recover that deficit is by 5-pointers.
Taken well there at the top, and the Whites straight down into this line-out drive. They're only about 3 metres out now. Royals have done well to hold it up, but it's still going forward here for the Whites. Niri Nadruku has it. Is he over the line? Can they get the ball down? I can see Cameron Stanley in there. Josh White has it. Unleashes Tarrant. He finds Mitch Douch, who's going to run this one in over on the far side. And again, there was a loose pass involved, but a try's a try in the end.
That's certainly true, Brett. They're all worth 5 points.
This is very true.
That Queanbeyan maul, they're transitioning that maul ball straight away to the side, and they're catching some Royals on the back foot and getting good go forward, and unfortunately Royals inside defence had to come and try and help out stop the maul from going over, and it just left Queanbeyan with about 5 on 2. Yeah, the pass from Zach Tarrant to his centres wasn't great, but Mitch Douch coming in from fullback just to add that extra man in the back line was right on the spot to clean up the scraps. Now, I think when we did Wests a few weeks ago, Brett, we had a second rower kicking goals. Today we've got a prop. I have never seen a prop kick for goal, but Ben Gordon, I beg your pardon, the Whites tight head, has just slotted that from 10 metres to the right of the post? Yeah, no. Neat as you like. Didn't look like missing. It went straight as an arrow. 14-7. The score now. I honestly can't get over that. I don't think I've ever seen a prop kicking for goal in my life, but well played, Ben Gordon. You've clearly done that before. Rolando's restart holding up again nicely in the wind. Taken well this time by Josh White. That ball hasn't been taken so well though in return, and Pedro Rolando's there to clean up for Royals. Gets a little kick in. The Whites are there to clean up, and Mitch Douch again is in space. Can't find his support players again. Brought to ground in the end by Jamie Bodman. This is Dan Pencer, and he's met heavily in field by Mike Farkavar. Oh, there was nearly an accidental offside moment there. The Whites have managed to avoid it. They've lost a metre or two here, though, definitely. Zach Tarrant gets an offload away there to Ryan Jones. The Whites' clean-out is effective here. Royals thought they had a crack at that, but they might have actually come back in the counter-ruck here, Royals. Have they got the turnover? They have. They won the turnover penalty. They were definitely beaten in the initial clean-out, Luke, but the counter-ruck work the counter was good. Good there. I just want to give James Morris a bit of credit there. Royals had advantage for a knock-on, and Pedro put in a little kick, and he's called the advantage over, which is good to see. I don't mind that. If Royals want to kick the ball away, then I think they're taking their advantage. So Royals have elected to take a shot at goal here. Orlando's pointed to the sticks, and I reckon, Luke, that's a bit of a nod to how well Queanbeyan are playing, I think. Yeah, I think it's slow the game down a little bit. Queanbeyan have had a lot of the ball, so there's probably a few people from Royals' side heavy breathing out there. So slow the clock down, try and get 3 points, and just put that pressure right back on the Queanbeyan after they've just come away with 7. It's certainly been plenty of pace to the game. There's no doubt about that. Pedro Orlando's penalty shot just from about 25 out to the right of the post. He's hit it well, and the flags are up. So 17-7. Royals skip ahead
off the boot of Pedro Rolando. He was on 143 points going into this game, Luke, which was second overall in the table. And he's got another 7 today, so that's his 150 for the season.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight shootout there as well at the top of the ladder.
Yeah,
for,
Brendan Tayuki from Tuggeranong is scoring tries for fun, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, I think if you have a look at the try tally of the two players, Brendan is way out
well in front, yeah.
I think he might be even the
Yes.
leading try scorer for the competition.
Yeah, he is comfortably, I can tell you that. And that's Tom Rudiger over there on the far side with a really good carry. Brought to ground about 35 out now. And the Whites, once again, building the phases as they launch another attack. Here's Zach Tarrant. He comes wide there to Keith Morgan, who does find Isaiah Latu this time. And he sort of backs into a couple of defenders, brought down about 25 out. Here's Ryan Jones, who is a impressive young footballer, I've got to say. Brought to ground just inside the 22 now. Tarrant keeps going wide on the far side there, finds Mitch Douch. Ben Johnson is all over him, brings him down to ground, into ground inside the 22 there now. Toby Wilson with another good carry. They're getting pretty quick ball here at the moment, the Whites. I reckon Josh White would like that kick back again. Ben Johnson on the spot to clean up for Royals.
It must be something that they've talked about before the game. That's a couple of little kicks that Queanbeyan have put in behind the Royals line. I'm not sure what they've seen there.
They definitely feel like they can try and get in behind Ben Johnson's. You're right. There seems to be a bit of a plan to that. I was going to say before, this of course means that Ben Johnson's out of the action for this clearing kick, but we needn't have worried because Pedro Orlando's box kick from the back of that ruck has just peeled off 40 metres comfortably. So the Whites are now back in their own half.
Ooh.
Taken well there at the front by AJ Noah, and it's taken well because it was thrown pretty well straight to him with no contest from Royals. Here's Isaiah Latu in midfield, getting a good offload there. So Toby Wilson brought down just short of halfway. Ryan Jones sticks his nose through this defensive line. Can't get an offload away. Penalty advantage here now for Royals. Tarrant with an inside ball to Mitch Douch, who's been really good in this first half. Ryan Jones with a good offload around the back. But OJ Noah has lost it, and we come back to this penalty advantage.
Just to explain that one, James Bodman is only in his second game back from injury, and the tackle rule has changed now. If you're the tackler, you can't get up and just go straight for the ball. You've got to come back around and through the gate.
Through the gate, that's right.
And that's what he's just been called for there.
And this touch finder hasn't done what it was supposed to do. Seth Going has done well at the back there to clean up, and there's Andy Muirhead under a bit of pressure. Has he lost that ball there, Muirhead? No, he's just put it back. Right. I thought he'd lost that in contact for a minute. This is Joel Penders now. Put down just short of Royals 22. Johnson's at the back for the clearing kick now. Orlando finds him. Ben Johnson. Well, there aren't too many better clearing kickers in ACT rugby, I'll put it to you, Luke. And that's just another Ben Johnson special, isn't it? Yeah,
no, there's a few getting around at the moment. Jordan Thompson from Uni North, booming boot, and Zach Tarrant I've been impressed with today.
Yeah, some good kickers. Good to have very good kickers.
BJ there, just relieving pressure, and you usually don't have to worry about the quick throw either.
No, certainly not. That line out for the Whites was taken and then lost at the top by OJ Noah, and Royals have lost it there in contact as well, so we'll come back for that first knock on. So 17 points to 7, Royals lead Queanbeyan here at Phillip Oval in the Hans Superdry Griffin League or John I. Dent Cup match of the round. It's round 16 here at Phillip Oval. East taking on Gungahlin at Griffith today, and West and Uni North in the other match at Jamison Oval, and I'm hoping we'll have some half-time scores from those grounds for you coming through in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. Tuggeranong, as I mentioned, with the bye this weekend. Plenty to play for plenty of sides this weekend. Still 6 teams well and truly in contention for the finals this year. Andy Muirhead again in a bit of space, and he finds Ben Johnson this time. Johnson gets his kick ahead, and Tom Rudiger is there to clean up. Held up initially there by Seth Going, but he gets to ground. He's only about a metre in from touch, to be fair. Zach Tarrant decides to kick to the far side because what he can see over there is Sione Mao, the tight head prop, and plenty of space. Andy Muirhead gets over there to clean up in the end. Sione Mao over the far side just directing traffic. And I reckon he needs to get in behind his fullback and offer a bit of support in the ruck there. Andy Muirhead didn't really have anywhere to go. Here's Jamie Bodman. He's cleaned up in midfield there by Cameron Stanley. And Royals are losing ground and now the ball as well.
Yeah, some
but there's a Whites knock on in the middle of all this.
Yeah, great defensive pressure there from Cameron Stanley. He's probably one of the quicker back rows going around the competition. And that's half time.
Righto then. All right. Well, that snuck up on us, I've got to say, Luke. But you're right, it is indeed half time. It's been a cracking first half. We have to say, we've talked about the pace of the game several times. So Royals 17, leading Queanbeyan 7 for Royals, who had tries to Sione Lolohea and to Andy Muirhead. And Pedro Orlando's kicked 2 conversions and a penalty. For the Whites, it was Mitch Douch who scored for them, and Ben Gordon converted. That's 17 points to 7 in favour of the home side here at Phillip Oval. And we will be back with some second half action very shortly. But first of all, here is some highlights from last weekend's cracking match out at Campese between the Whites and East. Welcome back to Phillip Oval in this round 16 Griffin Legal John Dent Cup match between the Queanbeyan Whites and Royals here. Royals 17 leading the Whites 7 points after what has been, Luke Fisher, a really, really entertaining first half of rugby.
I would say that was probably the funnest first half of football I've seen this year.
The funnest.
Yeah, it was
We're
cracking.
going to run with funnest?
Funnest. It's an adjective of...
It's a word of some sort. I can definitely tell you that. Now,
yeah, no, it was really, really enjoyable half, and both teams looking to play some great footy.
I hope for some progress scores from around the grounds. I can tell you that at half-time, Gungahlin 33 are leading East 7. That's up at that's over at Griffith. And progress score in the other game between Uni North and West at Jamison. Uni North 19 are leading West 0. Around about 5 minutes before half time, so that's going to have an impact on the final standings. Luke, certainly Gungahlin absolutely need a big win to try and jump into or force their way into a spot where they could be battling for fourth. And obviously, as I mentioned, the Uni North a win today, they'll quite likely nail down third spot, I would say.
Yeah, it's been a great fight back by Gungahlin. Early in the season, they kind of looked like the team
they looked
that
well beaten.
Also runs,
yeah.
But it's been a great fight back.
We did that notorious game against Uni North at ANU North. It would have been there mid-season. They had 2 players sent off, another 3 players with yellow cards, and it was just a game that they just never looked like they were going to be in, and they've done very, very well to come back from that. We're underway again, and Mike Farkavar, well, he's left the ball behind him.
That's 2 kickoffs that Royals this game would like to have back.
Yeah, now coming back for the knock-on in the end. So the Whites straight away on attack in the Royals 22. I can't see any changes out there. Luke, how are your eyes?
Looks 1 to 15.
Looks like 1 to 15 for both sides, doesn't it?
Royals, and 1 to 15 for Queanbeyan as well.
So Sione Lolohea and Eddie Muirhead with the tries in the first half for Royals. For Queanbeyan, it was Mitch Douch who got them underway. So 17 points to 7 is the score here at Phillip. The Whites heading into the bye next weekend. They would love nothing more than to come back in this game and take the points off Royals. Zach Tarrant had to juggle that one, but he's brought it in, and it's a good run in there from Tom Rudiger. It's Toby Wilson. He's met heavily there by Mike Farkavar.
He's really had some great first-up contact today.
Laying on some physicality in that middle channel, isn't he? Tarrant again, sticking his nose through the defensive line. Makes a couple of metres up there. Here's Neri Ndruku, brought to ground well, but about 20 out from the Royals line now. White looking for runners, finds Ryan Jones, who's brought down by Richie Mariota. This is Dan Pencer, gets a little offload away to Neri Ndruku, who I'm not entirely sure was ready for it, but did well to hold it anyway. Tarrant finds Mitch Douch on an inside line. They're building this up with plenty of patience here, the Whites. Royals defence holding up reasonably well so far. Dan Pencer forced sideways again. They're about 12 out, and that's as close as they've been in this raid. Tarrant comes wide, puts the ball in front of Ryan Jones. Ball's gone backwards. Keith Morgan has to clean it up. There's Will Morrison forcing the Whites back again. They're outside the 22. Josh White is forced to ground. They're going forward again, slowly but surely. The Whites sort of need to reset here. This defence from Royals. Mike Farkavar again with the physicality.
Yeah, that defence from Royals has just been outstanding. They've had that line set and
done really well. Mitch Douch again gets them back into the 22, and there's a penalty this time. And there's a penalty with a bit more to it by the looks of that.
It's James Bodman again for doing what he got penalised for in the first half.
Just not coming through the gate.
Coming through the gate. As that sort of tackler, he just sort of held on, and 12 months ago that was a perfectly fine tactic, but in an effort to clean up the ruck and make it more simple, they've changed that rule, and Bodo's just going to have to get across it. Zach
Tarrant has found the line 5 metres out. I actually thought there, Luke, the way James Morris stopped and went to double blow. I thought he was going to reach for the yellow card, but
Good
glad he
pressure
hasn't
on
done that. Really well taken in the end from Royals. Have won this at the. Have they? No, it's been balls coming back on the Queanbeyan side. So we had a line out steal, but the Whites have done well to get it back. Carl Elliott, okay, goes for a snipe down the blind side, but he's pushed back a couple of metres after he made the contact. Tarrant goes wide, brings Keith Morgan back on his inside. Josh White keeps going wide, and Tarrant again goes with that inside ball. It's Tom Rudiger this time. Here's Dan Pencer, big dummy to Carl Elliott, and he's outside. Elliott's there for the clean-out support over the top. Slow ball here for Josh White, but they're mounting the phases again. Here's Mitch Douch, dummies to the outside, brought to ground about 5 out in the end by Luke Kimber.
Whites are playing with a lot of second man out the back plays.
Yeah, and inside balls too, as they've lost this, and Pedro Orlando gets a hurried kick downfield, gets a good run on after the bounce. For another 20 metres or so, Tom Rudiger has to go a long way back to clean this up. Seth Going is there to clean him up. Rudiger gets past him and he's brought down there on halfway in the end. Good work there from Queanbeyan to bring this back into the Royals half. Here's Josh White, who's held up by Pedro Orlando. Can they force them all here? They're brought to ground in the end. They've done well, the Whites. Here's Neri Nendruku. He's brought down by Sione Lolohea and Sione Mao. That's a good carry up there, and an offload away now to hooker Carl Elliott. It was a great run there from Cameron Stanley, the number 8. And they're deep on attack here again, the Whites. Josh White there, doing plenty of digging to get this ball away. Douch has it out the back. Thought he saw a bit of a gap that quickly closed on him. Rudiger goes open side, can't get through that first tackle. Josh White has it again, looking for runners.
I think that might be OJ Noah's first run with the ball.
I think you might be right.
Strange. He's usually a prolific ball carrier.
I think you might be right. I think we've called his name in general play. There's a big shoulder with the benefit of the doubt about whether there was a leading arm with it from Mike Farkavar. Toby Wilson, he's brought to ground just short of the 22. A flick pass inboard for Ryan Jones from Josh White. Trying to get quick ball here, the Whites. It's just not necessarily coming for them. Keith Morgan finds Tom Rudiger on the far side. And he's only brought down about a metre out, but the flag's up on the far side.
Yeah, Queanbeyan now looking to try and exploit that real quick line speed from Royals by going with some...
Well, the Royals have gone a quick line out, and Ben Johnson, in getting the clean out ball at the back, has managed to sort of lose his footing and came to ground in his own in goal, which was effectively forcing the ball. So 5 metre scrum to the Whites.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting Royals to go quick there, and they didn't catch anyone napping.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a time and place on the field, certainly for a quick line out. I'm not entirely sure that your own try line is it.
Yeah.
Now Keith Morgan has just run off for the Whites.
Is this another toilet break?
It can't be, surely.
What?
But he has run straight around the corner, unless he's forgotten a mouth guard or something like that. We've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Surely we're not introducing toilet breaks.
Either way, can we get play back underway, please, James?
Yes, that'd be nice. But there's no replacement player has gone on for Keith Morgan. The Queanbeyan backline.
They're playing a man short. Yeah,
they are playing a man short.
Well done by James for getting this underway.
So the Whites will have a scrum feed with one fewer backline player than they're entitled. And it's actually upset the Royals defence because they're having to mark off now and they're not entirely sure who's where at the moment. The White scrum goes down though. That's just doing Keith Morgan a favour, I'm sure, just try and get him back on the field.
Yeah, and a bit of a strange setup here again from the Whites. We've got Zach Tarrant on a short side standing in a regulation spot for a 5'8" with Jamie Marmon on his outside, and then the remaining 3 are all flat on the open side.
So half time in that other game between West and Uni North. Uni North 19 leading West 0 in half time at Jamison. That earlier In the other game, Gungahlin 33 were leading East 3 over at Griffith. The Whites have won this scrum, and they're bringing it upfield here now through Ben Gordon. And that's a pretty good carry. Comes to ground about 3 metres short there. Some strong defence there from Sione Lolohea. Stops that pick and drive before it really got going anywhere. Royals defence aiming up here, either side of the ruck. Joel Penders is heavily involved there. The Whites, they're very nearly over here though, I think. Josh White has had to dig in there. He's looking open side, but he's only got one option out. He goes open side to Zach Tarrant, who tries to put on a bit of a move to get through. Royals' midfield defence is up to the task though. White has this again. He finds Dan Pencer, who sort of half steps, half trips over and brings himself to ground in the end. Carl Elliott has this. Initially I thought there was a very nearly an intercept, but Elliott has held on to it. It's turned over now, and Sione Lolohea has it for Royals. He gets a ball away to Seth Going, and he's in a bit of space now, the Royals winger. Seth Going, he's got no one in front of him, and he will run this one in from 70 metres away, Seth Going. Well, they've done it again, Luke. Royals against the run of play, and that's all come from that ruck turnover deep in their own 22.
Yeah, credit just has to go to Royals' goal line defence today. It's been absolutely outstanding. Pressure they're applying with their defence has led to that turnover, and Seth is one of the quickest guys in the comp. Cameron Stanley thought he had him for about a step and then put a effort dive in.
Very quickly worked out that he didn't quite have him at all, didn't he?
Yeah.
And look, credit to Sione Lolohea, who actually had to juggle that ball once he pulled it out of the ruck again, just as he neared the 22, and he worked out that he needed to get it to someone slightly faster than him, and Seth Going was the man on the spot. Yeah,
Sione Lolohea really summed up this time well there. I think originally I thought he was going to go on the inside, which is when led to the bobble, but summed it up and went to the quick guy on the outside.
So Pedro Rolando's conversion. Again, he's taken it about 25 metres back. He's about 2 metres in from touch. We're kicking this the best part of 30 metres, and it's looking good off the boot, but it's wide of the uprights. So score remains 22 points to 7 in our Hahn Superdry match of the round. And once again, it's a case of the Whites playing all the rugby in these opening minutes of this half, but Royals coming up with the prize. Zach Tarrant's restart is going to come down to Luke Kimber about on his 22. It was a high and deep kick. Rolando, well, he's happy to take some time now. Gets the ball back to Ben Johnson for a clearing kick, who doesn't take the near side. Jamie Marmont has done exceptionally well to stay in over on the far side. I was keeping a very close eye on assistant referee Flag on the far side. Stayed down. He's done well there, Jamie Marmont, to keep that kick in. There's a good carry there in midfield. Again, this Royals defence is up to the task today. There's another carry. There's a carry from OJ Noah. Again, it would only be his second or third for the day, Luke. Zach Tarrant steps off his right before finding Mitch Douch out wide. There's Isaiah Latu, I beg your pardon. Keith Morgan, I know, is back on the field. He must have found that lost mouthguard because it couldn't possibly have been a toilet break.
He spent some time looking for it, didn't he?
Whatever it was. They've lost this ball going backwards again. It's play on. Will Morrison's kicked this ball ahead. Is he going to win the race back to it? Is there a knock on there? Certainly the Royals crowd here at Phillip Oval think it is. But Tom Rudiger has been able to clean up, and he's able to make 15 metres up, bring this ball outside the 22. There's plenty of space here now. Zach Tarrant is in it, but he can't find his support runners. They're getting there slowly but surely. Cameron Stanley finds Josh White at the back there, and Zach Tarrant, well, he's still on the ground after that run. Royals have piled in over this. They've got a turnover here for sure. Pedro Rolando's now at the back, just directing traffic now. Working out where to go. Joel Penders has this. He's good for a metre or two in midfield. Matt Cole, well, I reckon that's one of his first involvements today too. The ball seems to have gone past Matt Cole at inside centre a lot, but that's not a bad kick in the end to find touch about 30 metres out over on the far side there.
Yeah, just get Queanbeyan going backwards, keep your forwards on the front foot. Royals are struggling to get back defensively there, so to get back up the other end of the field is a favourable position.
Yeah. Now this line out is going to take place without Sione Lolohea, the Royals hooker, who's still back here on this side of halfway, getting some attention. Well, Whites have lost that ball forward at the back of the line out, I'm sure, and James Morris agrees. He's blown time off now.
I think we might have a substitution.
Yeah, Sione Lolohea. It's that right knee, which is what I assume was initially going to keep him out of the game. They're going to try and apply some emergency strapping and see how that holds up. Although, to be fair, it doesn't actually look like they're strapping his knee. It looks like it's top of a calf muscle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so this is a breather for both sets of forwards. Luke, it's been a really quick start to this second half, and the first half certainly didn't lack any pace. So
yeah, it's certainly been a very, very quick game. Some enterprising football being played by both teams.
Looking
to keep ball in hand. Hasn't been too many set pieces and hasn't been many stops in play.
Sione Lolohea is getting back to where this scrum will be packed. I wonder how much longer he's going to try and put up with that. I guess we will find out soon enough. Shadows here at Phillip Oval. Well, I reckon you'd have to say they're well and truly past 3/4 of the width of the field. We're nearly over the 15-metre tram line I can see there in the Queanbeyan half. And that means, Luke, that, well, the temperature's dropping here, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's far cry from what it was when the game started today.
Yeah, beautiful sunshine. It was wonderful here earlier. And this white scrum is wheeled around and they're penalised for doing just that. Rolando goes quickly from the mark and he finds Matt Cole, who is running a good support line alongside him. But there's a penalty now against Royals. I've got someone coming from the side.
Side entry.
Yeah, just good. I think the clean-outs were just a little bit caught by the pace of Rolando and Cole going it alone. They were sort of 5 or 6 metres ahead of them, and
yeah, it's an uncommonly seen penalty in from the side for an offensive team.
Yeah, and that's a good kick from Zach Tarrant, I've got to say.
Yeah, he's put Queanbeyan into some good field position here.
He's peeled off
into the wind.
Peeled
as well,
off 45 metres comfortably, nearly 50, I reckon you'd have to say, from where he's kicked that, just near his own try line. Taken well at the top there, and Rolando has this, finds Richie Mariota in midfield. Matt Cole saw the pressure of Isaiah Latu and decided wisely to step infield. This is Jamie Bodman, who finds Andy Muirhead, who finds Pedro Rolando in a little bit of space. He's brought down though the scrum half. Quick ball there, Lincoln Smith did well to hold onto it too, but it's been stolen here by the Whites. Cameron Stanley, I think it was, the young number 8.
Bread and butter for Toby Wilson, I think it was.
Oh, you're right. It's full credit to Toby Wilson. Ben Johnson had a bit of work to clean up that Mitch Douch kick. He gets a midfield bomb up, and OJ Noah has taken it like a fullback.
And brought by Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson's there to lead the chase. Brings him down. Zach Tarrant comes wide again. And here's Cameron Stanley, who can't get his pass away in the end. He's had a really good game today, Cameron Stanley. He couldn't find Ryan Jones. So Ben Johnson gets this clearing kick away, and I'll tell you what. Mitch Douch has done superbly well on that far side to keep the ball in, to not going to touch himself, to then get a kick away on the far side. He's peeled off 50 metres. Luke Kimber gets us back underway quickly with a quick line out to Andy Muirhead, who himself gets a kick downfield, and we're back to Ryan Jones. Oh, I was going to say, we're going to have a back row of kicking, are we here? No, Ryan Jones takes this ball to ground just inside Royals half. It has been a really entertaining second half already, and we've got another turnover from Sione Lolohea, who again finds Seth going, and he's put into touch.
I just want to go back and compliment Mitch Doush on that kick
Oh.
again. That was superb. The way he got
We
the
didn't do him
spin
justice.
on that ball to go into touch was amazing.
He's managed to peel off 40 metres from an angle of, I don't know what, because he's inside the 5 metre tram line there on the far side. Incredible skill. OJ Noah, he takes this line out ball for the Whites, and they're away through Keith Morgan and Isaiah Latu and Ben Johnson. Did he get a hand on that? He has. There's a knock-on advantage being played here to the Whites. This Royals' defensive pressure has been impressive all day. We're going to come back for the scrum. Back on about just inside the 10 metre line. And that gives us a bit of a breather, finally, Luke. It feels like we've been on for 5 or 6 minutes. It's been back and forward. I've mentioned a couple of times, it's been a cracking opening to this second half, but I can probably stop saying opening now. We've probably been going 15 minutes, and
It's certainly been action-packed.
I've had to talk for most of it.
Yeah,
How's this scrum contest? How have you seen it so far today?
I would say Royals have probably had the advantage for the majority of the time. But again, I think it's who's switching on at each individual scrum battle, it seemed. Queanbeyan probably had a bit of an ascendancy at that last one, but just didn't have both sides going forward. Noreen and Drucker on this side just worked over Sione Mao too quick for poor Ben Gordon on Joel Penders.
Yeah, that's a fair summation. I think certainly it looked like both sides of the Queanbeyan scrum hasn't been in sync, and again, Royals with a really good shove on that scrum. That's a good carry up in midfield there from Isaiah Latu. Toby Wilson, he's brought to ground. Mike Farquhar does his best to try and hold him up. He gets to ground there in the end, the second rower. The ball's been lost in that ruck though this time. I'm sure that went forward. James Morris disagrees. It's play on for Queanbeyan in the end. They're still in their own half. Zach Tarrant with a little dummy, and again he finds himself in a little bit of space. Can't find a runner. Matt Cole has this on the ground for Royals, and all of a sudden they'll build their attack 30 out. But the penalty has gone to the Whites. Cole just caught at the bottom, not releasing in the end.
Not rolling away. I'm not sure, but
Well, Matt Cole definitely had the ball, and I reckon in the end he just couldn't get it back to his arriving players.
Yeah, again, Queanbeyan was shaping to play out the back there. I would like to see him play that front ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get some punch through the Royals' defensive line. That'll keep Royals on their heels.
All right, I think we're going to have some replacements here, Luke.
I
Can see a player, number 23, coming on here. Jamie Marmont has come off from the far side. We've got a replacement winger here on this near side. Taken well there from Toby Wilson again. Oh, Ryan Jones, I beg your pardon, again. Straight down into this line-out drive. It's already peeled off 10 metres. They're inside Royals 22. They've peeled off 20 metres here now. Look at this line-out drive. It's just been stopped there by Royals. But they've peeled off a second time. Here they're still going. The Whites. Can they get this job done? They're a metre or two out now with penalty advantage. Carl Elliott has drived over the line. Has a try been awarded, or have we gone back to the penalty?
Queanbeyan are walking back like a try's been awarded.
Yeah, you're right.
So is James. So.
Yeah, it's a try to the Whites. Carl Elliott, I'm pretty sure it was, got the job done, and that's fair reward for a really, really impressive line-out drive.
It was very, very impressive. The way they could keep that structure when you start moving forward that fast is it's quite a skill. I don't think Coach Southwell will be quite happy with Royals' reaction to it. Once they broke through, people were struggling to get back around and put some more effort to try and slow it down.
Yeah, it took them, as I mentioned, it took them 20 metres before they were able to really get some muscle in it to force that initial stoppage, but with all their momentum, the Whites are able to peel off and go again. So Ben Gordon will have another conversion. He's pushed this one across the face that time. So score remains 22 points to 12 in favour of Royals. Certainly it feels like line-out drive of the Whites. It could be really dangerous. They can get their way back back downfield.
It's certainly been when Queanbeyan have looked their best on attack
Yep.
off that line-out drive.
Tend to agree with that. Orlando's restart has been lost forward over there on the far side by Toby Wilson. So this is straight away back for Royals. Sione Lolohea has to fall forward to pull in that pass. He's held up initially, but he's got to ground now. Orlando has this. Goes out the back from Nathan Selwood. This is Andy Muirhead, who goes backwards and sideways, backwards again. And now he starts making his ground, and he can't find Ben Johnson on the far side. Ball goes into touch, but it's off a Queanbeyan player, I'm sure. It is.
Off Noran Andruku, smartly just, swatting the ball back towards his own line to stop a flying Ben Johnson out wide.
Yeah, certainly Muirhead and Johnson knew where the opportunities might be. I think they'd isolated a few big men over there on the far side. Now I think that's Robbie Hogg on in number 20.
Yeah, it certainly is Robbie Hogg on number 20.
For Royals.
Just trying to work out
who's come off. Yeah, we'll have that for you in just a moment. This is Sione Mao, who's still going, the big fella. Making good space. A good run upfield there from Bodman, finds Lincoln Smith, who's brought down just short of the 22 in the end. This is Selwood. Again, brought down a similar sort of spot. Quicker ball this time for Orlando, but he takes his time. Bodman goes out the back to Matt Cole, who holds up his pass and finds Ben Johnson. He's in a bit of space. He's looking for support back on the inside. It's Cole. He gets an offload back away. But the Whites got this. No, Royals have got it, but they've lost 15 metres away from where Matt Cole was initially brought to ground. Ben Johnson in there getting a clean-out pass back. About 15 out here, Royals. They'll start to build the phases. Andy Muirhead with a pick and drive from the back. Sione Lolohea in there over the ball. The Whites thought they had a shot at that, but they've let it go. Selwood.
Could be isolated here.
With Robbie Hogg in behind him in number 20. Orlando's got this again. Slowly but surely. There's Luke Kimber. There's Will Morrison. He's still on the field there in number 6. So I think it's Mike Farquhar.
Yeah, Mike Farquhar.
Luke, who's gone off. Off.
Strong game from Mike today.
Really good in
in initial contact indeed.
His physicality in that centre channel, and he only really plays 5 metres either side of the uprights, doesn't he? He just plays in that same central channel up and down the field, but he certainly pulled off the impact today.
Yeah, and stick to your strengths when you're sort of suited to that middle channel. Don't wander out of there. And,
no.
When you're putting physical pressure on like that, it gets the Queanbeyan Whites players looking up.
Certainly does. Luke Kimber's just on his haunches. I'm just trying to work out whether a trainer's coming out to him. There is one coming to him from the far side. Sione Lolohea looks like he might be succumbing to that calf injury. He's making his way from the field. So this is Michael Andrew Copsey coming on. He's had a strong game today. It's good reception from the home crowd here.
Yeah, I think he'd be my pick so far for best on ground.
Yeah, he's been really good. And we haven't really had much of a chance to talk today, Luke, but today we'll decide whose name, which club is engraved on the Bob Hitchcock Territory Shield for 2018. With Queanbeyan having the bye next week and Royals not playing at home, this is the last challenge match of 2018.
Certainly is.
So our first piece of silverware for the season will be decided in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, and fitting game for it to go down. Royals won the Bob Hitchcock Shield off Queanbeyan. I think
back mid-season, wasn't it? Yeah.
5 or 6, I believe it was.
And they've survived a couple of challenges here at Phillip ever since, including a couple of matches of the day that we've done. Here's Zach Tarrant putting up a midfield bomb from just outside his own try line, taken well there in the end by Andy Muirhead, who's been really good today. The Royals fullback coming back from the Brumbies squad into the team where he really made his mark last year, it needs to be said. Bodman goes wide, finds Matt Cole, who again finds Ben Johnson in a bit of space on the far side. Johnson finds Cole again. They've been really good down that left side. Nathan Selwood follows up with a good carry. He's brought down about 10 short of the try line. Joel Penders, he's there closer to the post, but similar distance to the try line. Rolando's digging, trying to plea for a penalty. Luke Kimber, I'm not quite sure what he was trying with that goose step, but again, he's centred things up nicely. Bodman finds Will Morrison, who I think was thinking he was going to be the decoy runner.
Good initial contact there from Zach Tarrant.
Yeah, he's lost about 5 metres in contact there in the end. Sione Mao, well, he's just made those 5 back. That was a good carry. Rolando with a flick pass that went to no one, and the Whites have this now. This is a good carry from Carl Elliott. Peels off 10 metres or so. We've got some replacements on for the Whites too.
I think the speed of this game's starting to show out there.
Yeah.
A few players going down with cramp.
There's a few guys are definitely working hard in this game now, no doubt about it. Here's a good carry over on that far side. It's OJ Noah.
Yeah, it was very, very quiet the first half from OJ Noah,
Yeah,
but his 3 carries in the second half have all been effective.
That was probably his best one of the day. No doubt about that one. Zach Tarrant, again, eyes off a little bit of space
Nice
and a broken
tackle,
Royals line. Yeah, tackle that had to be made.
Dare I say it, they all have to be made.
Yeah, well, this is all very true. We have no room for cliches in our broadcast, Luke. You're right to pull me up. Having to work hard here for quick ball. Josh White, it's just not coming through at the moment. But to be fair, I'm not sure the Whites are quite ready to put the foot down again.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like the Whites
Just slowing down a bit. But here's OJ Noah again. He's just peeled off 30 metres over on the far side, the big lock. This is giving them quicker ball now, the Whites. Looking for runners there in midfield. That's Mitch Douch, who gets an offload away to Toby Wilson, who's going to be brought down about 10 short. They're on deep on attack here now, the Whites. Looking for runners. Royals doing well to hold the player up. The ball goes to ground. Here's Toby Wilson with a follow-up run, and he's going to burst through. It's a try to Toby Wilson. Well, that's just reward for hard work.
It certainly is. Some very, very good pressure there applied Queanbeyan through the work off the side of the ruck there. Again, off the back of a couple of massive OJ Noah runs.
2 really good OJ Noah runs, and all of a sudden, at 22 points to 17, and we'd have maybe 15 minutes to go, but we've got a match on our hands here.
We certainly do. I know we're trying to stay away from cliches, but I'd say we're up for a grandstand finish.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Ben Gordon is just trying to work out where he wants to take this pass from. This conversion, and he's put it over from in front. So 22 plays 19 here at Phillip Oval in our Hahn Superdry match of the round.
And again, that's just come off the back of Queanbeyan, like just being able to really control possession for long periods of time. They've been doing it all day, and it's now showing up as we're getting some rewards from it. Another change for Queanbeyan. I think that might be Fred Carhea coming on for Carl Elliott.
Carl Elliott, yeah, I think you're right. Carhea. There's another replacement getting ready to come on down there. This restart from Rolando is taken well there in midfield, but we've had a little forward pass from the restart. Ryan Jones took it well and just sort of tried to get the ball straight down to, I think it was Dan Pencer on the ground waiting for it, but he's just ruled the
I think
pass has gone forward from Ryan Jones.
Ball might have just come off the kickoff, gone through Jones's hands, bounced, and then
might have done too. Might have done too. And so if we were playing a cracking pace to start this second half, it certainly feels like we've lost a bit of it in the last 5 minutes, doesn't it, Luke?
It's slowed down. I think that's just because of the pace that the first 60 was played at.
I reckon that's
getting some tired bodies out there.
I reckon that's a fair call.
Scrums are taking longer to pack.
It's a good shove from the Whites. Rolando has to, again, dig well to get this ball out. He finds Andy Muirhead over on the far side. Ben Johnson comes back on his inside, and he's brought down on the Queanbeyan 22 there in the end. He's Joel Penders with a run. This is Richie Mariota, who gets his head through, and again he's brought down on the 22. This is Bodman, comes wide to Luke Kimber, who does well to pull that pass in and finds a few metres to get Royals inside Queanbeyan's 22. That's Will Morrison with a good run. It's starting to build up here now for Royals. Ryan Jones has got a hand on that. We've got a deliberate knockdown penalty.
Yeah, at early parts of the season, we're seeing yellow cards for that, particularly in Super Rugby level. But I think benefit of the doubt's got to go to Ryan Jones there.
Yeah,
motion was upwards.
Yeah, and so I saw as soon as that penalty was blown, I reckon I saw 4 different hands pointing to the post. So Pedro Orlando is going to have a shot. Yeah, you're right. It does sort of feel like the way that deliberate knockdown is being ruled has changed a little bit. They still seem to be working toward that same explanation around opportunity to regather.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up to that is whether it's a try-scoring opportunity or not, or a line break opportunity. And often that's the difference between whether it's a yellow card or not. And so I think in this case, he certainly wasn't going to pull it back in, Ryan Jones, but I don't think we're about to see a line break, so penalty is the right call there. And Pedro Orlando very kindly takes the opportunity for a penalty goal, which he kicks.
Joel Pender's just currently down and being attended to by Royals Medicos. But
righto, so we're into our last 5 minutes of this game. We've managed to lose track of time a couple of times here, Luke, but we're inside the last 5 now. Yeah, Joel Pender's still getting some attention in back play, but we're back underway. It's a high restart from Zach Tarrant. And initially I wondered whether the ball was going to go 10, but it managed to get there.
It was a superb kickoff.
Yeah, really good. Gave plenty of time for the Whites defenders to get through on the Royals forwards, and there's a little knock on there.
That last scrum from Queanbeyan really exerted some pressure through the Royals' loose head side. So great attacking opportunity here for Zach Tarrant if he wants to unleash this back line.
Definitely is.
Standing very deep though.
Definitely is. Now I can see in the Whites back line, player there in jersey 25, is that Billy Chalker?
Billy Chalker has come onto the field.
Who had a pretty reasonable game in second grade earlier today, and he's come on for Isaiah Latu because I can see Keith Morgan is still out there.
Has Isaiah Latu gone to the far wing?
Yeah, well, Jamie Marmot came off. It's certainly not Mitch Douch. Well, that's Mitch Douch with the ball here now. No, that's still Tom Rudiger over on the far side. So Latu is the man that's been replaced. Billy Chalker going to inside centre. This is Dan Pencer, brought to ground on the Royals 10-metre line. What can Queanbeyan do? Trailing 25-19 with about 4 to go here at Phillip, and they're really playing for the rest of their season, the Whites. Does it finish here in the next few minutes, or do they live to play on in a few weeks' time in the first weekend of the semi-finals? Josh White finds Tarrant, again looking for that inside ball, and Mitch Douch has been a really good inside runner all day today. White again out the back play to Chalker, finds Neri Nedruku, who's stopped in his tracks.
Battle of the number ones.
Joel Penders, if he was slowing up a bit before, well, Neri Nedruku's just added to that. Penalty advantage now for the Whites. A nice pop ball there from OJ Noah, found Dan Pencer. They've got the advantage here, the Whites. They can have a bit of a crack. That's good. That's Keith Morgan over on the far side, and there's a flag up. There's a flag up, so we're going to go back to the penalty, which gives Zach Tarrant an opportunity to kick for the corner.
Just down in front here, we had mention of the Raiders situation on Friday night. We wanted to avoid one of those.
Well, and that's timely because I did notice that Raiders coach Ricky Stewart was here a little earlier. He might have taken a seat up in the grandstand here beside us.
Yeah, so come back here for a penalty. I think Luke Kimber got caught not rolling away.
Yep. So Zach Tarrant with probably his worst kick of the season. Off the side of the boot, goes straight to Pedro Rolando, who gets a kick away, who in turn is barrelled by the Queanbeyan replacement prop. Rolando still down back past the 22, so the penalty will be
where the ball lands.
And I wondered whether we might have had a bit more to that one, but Brody Ingram, our assistant referee on this side, decided it was okay.
He was in perfect position to see it, so I'll trust Brody.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. Certainly the Royals faithful here in the grandstand beside us are voicing their opinions, Luke.
Yeah, the Royal faithful are known for their voice, and when they have a player sort of bite back a little bit like Fred Kahia did just then, it just encourages them even more.
Yeah. James Morris has just had a quick word there to Kahia.
Him
and he's probably
Brady
on warning.
joke.
Yeah, they did. In the closing stages, Royals on attack again through Matt Cole, who goes wide to Andy Muirhead, who's well contained over on the far side there. Keith Morgan did well to stop him before he got going anywhere. Rolando has this. This is Nathan Selwood. It's good for another 5 or 6 metres. Ball's been lost in that. It's been pinched,
offside,
but not legally. And it's an offside penalty against the Whites. And again, there's at least 2 sets of hands have gone up pointing to the posts. Pedro Rolando joins in that growing trend. And that's an opportunity for Royals to jump out another 3 points, would then get Queanbeyan out of bonus point territory as well, which certainly doesn't help the Whites' cause. So we'll be waiting to see how other results have gone today. Certainly Uni North and Gungahlin were in good positions at half-time in their respective games. Pedro Rolando's attempted penalty goal was about 30 out. It looks like he's about 5 metres to the left of the uprights. Hits it well. Flags are up.
Casually as you like for Pedro.
Yeah, 28 points to 19. Royals in front, and they're all of a sudden looking pretty comfortable in this one, Luke. It's all or nothing for Queanbeyan now. They've got literally their season on the line. Luke Kimber takes this well for Royals. Just outside his 22. Robbie Hogg with a good carry in midfield.
Strong carry, yeah. Robbie.
Ball goes back to Jamie Bodman, who gets a bit of a midfield bomb up. They've done well there, Queanbeyan, to bring that one down safely. Coming forward, White finds OJ Noah. Mitch Douch runs past him. The offload was definitely on if he could get it away, Noah. White finds Dan Pencer. This is Tarrant. And this is Billy Chalker, who's taken well there by Jamie Bodman. It's a good another carry in midfield for Royals. That's off Josh White's hand.
Jamie Bodman's gone down off that tackle.
We've got a knock on against Royals in all this one, Luke, which is
a bit hard when you usually don't have the ball.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how you knock it on when you haven't got the ball. Certainly in the closing stages here now, we should, Luke, give some thought to Vodafone Man of the Match suggestions today. Who's been Royals' best in your eyes today?
I know he went off early, but Sione Lolohea had a very, very strong game. Will Morrison's got through a mountain of work again, and Andy Muirhead has just provided that bit of attacking spark to the back line.
Yeah, has been good. Pedro Rolando's been really prominent again.
I think I just overlook Pedro because he's just that good every week.
You just take it for granted, don't you?
We've had
Pedro will switch out to fly half now. Ben Brown in 21 has come on, I beg your pardon, for Jamie Bodman. in this closing stages. For Queanbeyan, I think we've called him early on. I think Zach Tarrant has been really, really good. And the back rowers, the young back rowers, Cameron Stanley and Ryan Jones have both been really impressive today as well. So they will no doubt feature in the reckoning for the Vodafone Man of the Match, which will be unveiled in next week's Brumbies Rugby Stampede program. And so we must be in the last minute or so of this match here at Phillip. We've got a Queanbeyan attacking scrum in centre field on Royals 22. What can the Whites find here? Trailing by 9 points, 28-19. They've played exceptionally well at times, but Royals' ability to turn defence into attack has produced 3 tries today. And that's the sort of the way you want to be playing, I suppose, at this time of the year. They've got this, the Whites. Tarrant goes wide before play switches back to this side. This is Billy Chalker, who steps off his left and then off his right, then backs into a third tackler again. Young midfielder. Cameron Stanley peels off another metre or two infield. Ball goes out to no one in particular. Zach Tarrant cleans it up. Pedro Orlando is all over him though, and the Whites have lost 10 metres. But there's a penalty against Royals. Josh White goes quickly, and he's met there by Joel Penders, who stops him in his tracks, brings him down on the 22-metre line. Neri Nandruku is the biggest scrum half on the field today. Billy Chalker has this, and he puts Cameron Stanley in a little bit of space. Cameron Stanley's going to run this one in for a well-deserved try.
Great line there by Cameron Stanley, and just that explosive pace that he has through contact helps him sneak through the line, and well-deserved try. He's been worked hard today.
Yeah, has been really, really good, the Whites' number 8. And it was a great ball from Billy Chalker to put him through that space too, Luke. And
yeah, since Billy Chalker's come on, it just seems that Queanbeyan's attack had a bit more of a spark to it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Had a few, just that extra playmaker out there, I think, helped added some ideas for the Queanbeyan backline to get into this game. And
certainly given them some more options attack-wise off that second pass. You're right. And so if they live for another week, in 2 weeks' time, it'll be interesting to see whether Billy Chalker might be a candidate for that number 12 jersey for the Whites.
Yeah, they've got plenty of options there, Whites, which is always a good thing.
Ben Gordon with the last piece of action for the day. His conversion is unsuccessful. That is full time, though, here at Phillip Oval. Royals 28 have beaten Queanbeyan 24. Tries to Royals to Sione Lolohea, to Andy Muirhead before half-time. Seth going with that runaway try just after half-time. And for the Whites, it was Mitch Douch, Carl Elliott, Toby Wilson and Cameron Stanley with that try right on full-time. 28 points to 24, the score here in the end. And that is Royals claiming the Bob Hitchcock Territory Shield for 2018. It's a nice reward for Royals, who have been pretty dominant in Shield challenges, Luke, since they got their hands on it mid-season, and that's a good reward for the club heading into the finals in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, it's always nice to add a little bit of silverware to the trophy cabinet. But yeah, it's a great initiative by Brumbies Rugby, and we'll be certainly happy to be the inaugural winners.
Absolutely, well deserved too, and as you say, a nice piece of early silverware to get, and it adds a nice competitive element, I think, throughout the season, which is great to see. Royals will head to Jamison next weekend, where they'll face West in the final round of 2018, while Queanbeyan, well, they will be sweating on other results now to determine their finals participation. We'll head north for one last time, with Gungahlin hosting Uni North in the Hahn Superdry Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup match of the round, and that will be an important match for both sides. But that's a wrap from us here at Phillip. Thanks for your company on Bar TV Sports. For Luke Fisher and the team, I'm Brett McKay. Enjoy your rugby.